Hey, adventurers and seekers of the truly extraordinary. What if a man, standing nearly 7 feet tall, with a booming laugh and a peg leg, lived a life so wild, so unbelievable, that it makes fiction seem tame? What if he survived being buried alive in ice, escaped a Nazi death sentence, and then won a fortune on a TV quiz show? Today, we're tearing open the astonishing, often jaw-dropping, saga of Peter Freuchen, the legendary Danish explorer, author, and adventurer. We'll peel back the layers of his incredible exploits, expose the chilling survival stories, the scandalous personal choices, and the audacious defiance that made him a global icon. This isn't just history. It's a raw, unfiltered journey into the heart of a man who embodied courage, intellect, and an unyielding will to live on his own terms. Get ready, because the true story of Peter Freuchen is a relentless tale of survival, rebellion, and a legacy that still inspires awe. Our story begins not in the frozen wastes, but in the seaport town of Nykøbing, Denmark, where Lorenz Peter Alfred Freuchen was born in 1886. He was a man destined for grander stages than a medical school lecture hall. Though he briefly studied medicine at the University of Copenhagen, the call of the wild, the lure of the unknown, was far stronger. In 1906, at just 20 years old, Freuchen embarked on his first expedition to Greenland, joining the renowned Arctic explorer Knud Rasmussen. This marked the beginning of a lifelong partnership and a profound immersion into a world utterly alien to most Europeans. Freuchen spent years in North Star Bay, Greenland, living among the polar Inuit. He didn't just observe, he lived their way of life, learning their survival skills, embracing their customs, and developing a deep respect for their profound adaptation to one of the world's most unforgiving environments. He learned meteorology, cartography, and the art of dog sledding, skills that would prove indispensable. In 1910, he and Rasmussen co-founded the Thule trading station in northwest Greenland, which became their base for a series of groundbreaking Arctic explorations, pushing the boundaries of Europe's geographic and cultural understanding. It was during this period that Freuchen met and married his first wife, Novarana Mekyapalak, an Inuit woman. She accompanied him on several expeditions, bearing him 2 children, a son and a daughter. This union, a genuine love story forged in the harsh Arctic, was a quiet scandal in clerical circles back home. The Danish church, steeped in rigid Christian doctrine, refused to bury Novarana when she tragically died in the Spanish flu epidemic of 1921, simply because she had not been baptized. Freuchen, ever defiant, buried her himself in the old church graveyard in Upernavik, a final act of love and rebellion against narrow-minded dogma. This deep connection to the Inuit people, his willingness to live as a heathen with a local woman, set him apart from many colonial adventurers and cemented his unique perspective on the Arctic and its inhabitants. Peter Freuchen's life was a series of brushes with death, but one particular incident stands out as the stuff of pure legend, a tale of ingenuity born from the most desperate circumstances. In 1926, during an expedition to Hudson Bay, Freuchen found himself caught in a ferocious blizzard. His dog-sled team was immobilized, and he was forced to take shelter beneath the sled. The storm raged for 30 hours, burying him in a coffin of snow and ice. When the blizzard finally passed, Freuchen awoke to a terrifying reality. He was completely entombed. The snow around him had frozen solid, trapping him in an icy tomb. He had no tools, no spear, no dagger, nothing to break through the impenetrable ice. Panic could have set in, but Freuchen, ever the resourceful survivor, remembered an old Inuit fable about a man who used frozen excrement to kill and butcher a dog. In a moment of desperate genius, he performed a bowel movement and, in the sub-zero temperatures, fashioned the frozen product into a chisel-like instrument. With this crude, unspeakable tool, he began to chip away at the ice. Very gently, very slowly, he worked at the hole until he finally breached the wall of ice, allowing him to escape. The ordeal was far from over. He then had to crawl for 3 agonizing hours back to his camp. When he finally arrived, he discovered that his left foot was severely frostbitten, beyond repair. Gangrene had set in. In another act of chilling self-reliance, Freuchen reportedly took a pair of pliers and a hammer and amputated his own toes without anesthesia. He later replaced his foot with a peg leg, a permanent reminder of his incredible ordeal. This horrifying, yet utterly compelling, story of the poop chisel became a cornerstone of his legend, a testament to his raw will to survive. While some modern scientific studies have attempted to debunk the feasibility of a frozen feces tool, Freuchen himself recounted the tale in his 1953 autobiography, Vagrant Viking, insisting on its truth. It's a story that, true or not, perfectly encapsulates the extreme conditions and the extraordinary resourcefulness of Arctic survival. After losing his leg, Peter Freuchen decided to settle down in Denmark, transitioning from full-time explorer to a prolific writer and lecturer. He purchased the Danish island of Enagi in Nakskov Fjord, where he wrote several books and articles, entertaining guests and living a more settled, yet still unconventional, life. During this period, Freuchen became heavily invested in socialism and anti-fascism. He joined the Social Democrats and became a regular contributor to the influential Danish liberal newspaper, Politiken, openly voicing his strong opposition to the rising tide of Nazism and Adolf Hitler. His outspoken views and imposing presence made him a formidable public figure. In 1924, he married his second wife, Magdalene Vang Lauritsen, a multi-millionaire heiress whose family was captivated by Freuchen's larger-than-life persona. Her father, Johannes Peter Lauritsen, the director of Denmark's National Bank, was so impressed by his son-in-law that he established the magazine Udog Gem in 1925 and made Freuchen its editor-in-chief. The magazine, which still circulates today, became the longest-running Danish magazine, a testament to Freuchen's influence even in the world of media. He also became a sought-after consultant and scriptwriter for the movie industry, particularly for films related to the Arctic. One such film, Eskimo, Mala the Magnificent, was based on his writings, and he even appeared in it as a ship captain. Notably, it was the first feature film to be shot in a Native American language and won an Oscar for Best Film Editing. His life was a whirlwind of diverse pursuits. In 1938, he founded the Adventurers Club of Denmark, an organization that still exists today, a testament to his enduring passion for exploration and camaraderie. His personal life, however, remained a subject of gossip. His marriage to Magdalene lasted 20 years before they divorced in 1944, just as the world plunged into the chaos of World War II. As World War II engulfed Europe, Peter Freuchen's outspoken anti-Nazi stance made him a marked man. Despite having only one leg, he became actively involved with the Danish resistance movement against the Nazi occupation of Denmark. He was fearless in his defiance. Whenever he encountered someone spreading Nazi propaganda or expressing anti-Semitic views, he would reportedly straighten up to his imposing 6'7" height and declare, "I'm a Jew." A bold and dangerous act of solidarity, as he himself was not Jewish. His effectiveness in the resistance, his public defiance, and his sheer audacity eventually drew the direct attention of the Third Reich. A direct order was issued for his elimination. Freuchen was captured by the Germans and placed in a concentration camp. But even the Nazis couldn't hold him. In 1944, with his characteristic cunning and resilience, he managed to escape from the concentration camp and flee to neutral Sweden, once again cheating death. After the war, in 1945, he married his third wife, Dagmar Kohn, a Danish Jewish fashion illustrator. Together, they moved to the United States, where Freuchen maintained two homes, one in New York City and another in rural Connecticut. He continued to share his incredible experiences through writing and lecturing, captivating American audiences with his tales of Arctic survival and his defiant spirit. His final act of public celebrity came in 1956, when he appeared as a contestant on the popular American television quiz show, The $64,000 Question. His chosen subject, the Seven Seas. Freuchen, with his vast knowledge and captivating storytelling, won the grand prize, making him instantly famous across the United States. He was a true polymath, a man who could navigate both the frozen Arctic and the glittering world of Hollywood and television. He was reportedly friends with Scandinavian royalty and, through his film work, mingled with the royalty of Hollywood and the political elite of Washington, D.C. On September 2, 1957, Peter Freuchen died of a heart attack in Anchorage, Alaska, at the age of 71, while on a trip to film a polar expedition for television. He was buried in his adopted home of Denmark, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most extraordinary adventurers of the 20th century. So, what are we to make of Peter Freuchen, the giant explorer who carved a knife from his own frozen waste, the defiant anti-Nazi who escaped a concentration camp, the polyglot intellectual who won a fortune on TV. His story isn't just a historical footnote, it's a profound exploration of human resilience, boundless curiosity, and the sheer audacity of a life lived without limits. He was a man who broke every mold, defying expectations of class, gender roles, and even physical limitations. His deep respect for Inuit culture, his fearless opposition to tyranny, and his relentless pursuit of adventure all paint a picture of a figure driven by an insatiable hunger for experience and a profound commitment to his own truth. His life reminds us that true strength isn't just physical. It's the iron will to survive, the courage to speak out, and the ingenuity to overcome the impossible. Peter Freuchen's tale forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. How much of our own potential remains untapped? What limits do we impose on ourselves? And how do we find the courage to live a life as rich and authentic as his? His name echoes today not just as a historical curiosity, but as a timeless archetype, the ultimate adventurer, the real most interesting man in the world. What do you think of Peter Freuchen's incredible, tumultuous life? Which of his stories fascinates you the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this journey into the heart of adventure and defiance intrigued you, hit that subscribe button. Because here, we're always unearthing the most compelling, controversial, and utterly vital stories that shape our world. See you in the next one.